welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Friday edition. Cousin Sal here with my pals, Anthony Dabbundo, a.k.a. Tony Tokens, Danny Heifetz, the hype man here. Oh, so much. What a power-packed show we have, fellas. Just forget it. We have a million picks to give you for the weekend games in the NFL. But before that, Heifetz's team gets Harbaugh. What a land. The Mets don't get Tucker. That's great. There's a gambling scandal. We're going to hit it all. We're going to hit our 107 picks. Talk about scandals. NFL best bets, player props, plays of the day, college football championship. But let's handicap those headlines right now. Congratulations, Danny Heifetz. Harbaugh to the Giants. You're over the moon. Look at you. Look at you. It's grinning ear to ear. The Ringer Gambling Show is presented by FanDuel. FanDuel's got it all. Same game parlays, quick bets for jumping in live and your way so you could build the best bet that fits your play. Plus, don't miss out on the NFL playoffs all month long. Download the FanDuel app or head to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. You have to be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
You know what? I mean, there's a chance that not only is this the best football moment I've had in 10 years, there's a chance this is even the highlight of the entire Harbaugh era. So I got to enjoy it now, don't I?
I think you do. Well, you have 5 years to enjoy it because it can earn him up to $100 million, this deal that he signed. I think it's fine. I think it's smarter for Harbaugh to take than for the Giants to sign him. But overall, good. Dabbundo, not a big fan of this signing. Go ahead, hit it, Tokens.
I intentionally didn't listen to the fantasy show, Heifetz, because I didn't want to be biased by your opinion or overindulge to your opinion, because I thought to myself, I know Heifetz is going to go all in on this. He's going to be shouting from the rooftops about how great it is that they finally have a great coach. And I just want to ask one simple question. Where is the evidence from the last 4 to 5 years that John Harbaugh is a great coach, is an elevator of talent?
I guess it depends. You know, they say that happiness is reality minus expectations. And my expectations couldn't be lower, Dabbundo. So it's the eye of the beholder. When I tell you that the 2023 Ravens, by advanced metrics, are like the best team that ever did not make a Super Bowl, maybe you see a coach that underdelivered. I see a team that was not eliminated from playoff contention by Thanksgiving, like the Giants have been 9 of the last 10 Thanksgivings.
Interesting. Okay, let me ask a question because, he's asking you to unravel evidence and stuff. I don't know where the burden of proof is on fans or on coaches or on teams. I don't know. But what does Harbaugh give you that Brian Daboll didn't? Maybe you answered it. Not eliminated by Thanksgiving. Is that just
evidence of a potential chance of winning?
The Giants have started 2-8 the last 3 years. You know, at the very least, the Giants love a kicker. The Giants have lost 3 games the last 2 seasons because their kicker was hurt and they didn't replace him on game day. So look, I understand what you're saying, Dabbundo. Like, there's an argument against Harbaugh. He's 63 years old. So, you know, what does that mean? It's like, oh, so 5 good years, then he's going to be, pushing 70. You could argue that, maybe they should have got an offensive play caller. They should have got a Kevin Stefanski. They should have got a Mike McDaniel. I don't know, someone to develop Jackson Dart. Yeah, sure, maybe. Beggars can't be choosers. But
are the Giants beggars? Are they beggars, though? Because it's a huge media market. They're beggars because of the last 10 years of lack of success, but they have, apparently, everybody tells me how good the quarterback, the running back, the receiver are. It's a huge media market. The owners are willing to spend. The Giants should have been one of the premier jobs in the market, and you could argue that, yes, they got one of the premier guys if you really love John Harbaugh, but if you're also somebody who says, hey, maybe take a bigger swing on a higher risk person who maybe doesn't have the same level of track record, but could come in and change everything.
Let's not live in fantasy land, Dabbundo. Who would you take then? Who would it be? It's a top 2 job.
I think Stefanski has more evidence of elevating talent around him. I think there's real questions about whether John Harbaugh was just kind of benefiting from the fact that, yes, Lamar Jackson was really good, and yes, Mike McDonald built a really great defense that has been pretty mediocre the last 2 years since he left. Like, I think there are real questions about Harbaugh and what his actual ad is beyond very vague terms of culture and kind of history of winning. It's the same reason I would be kind of dubious to hire Mike Tomlin.
This is what people do, Heifetz. They like to rain on your parade. Yeah, nobody could have good things in sports. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to defend you a little bit without having even played one game. I'm going to say it's nice to have a winner. It just is. And the Cowboys hired one with McCarthy a few years ago, but his wins were seemingly too far removed. It's just nice to get to exhale a little bit, Heifetz. I get it. Is that how you're feeling? You're going to exhale?
I think I might exhale. Let's try not to blow like a top. I'll try to keep my cool here. I'll tackle what Dabbundo said in parts, and I will start by acknowledging that some of the things Dabbundo said are right, and I agree with. If Kevin Stefanski goes to Tennessee and makes Cam Ward into some pseudo MVP candidate, and he looks like baby Matthew Stafford, the Giants might rue the day they could have had him. If Mike McDaniel goes to the Eagles and the Eagles win the Super Bowl again, and he gets another coaching job, and he ends up being a great coach somewhere, we're like, wow, why didn't the Giants just hire Mike McDaniel for Jackson Dart? Totally possible. Those guys are 20 years younger, maybe can develop the quarterback. Totally possible that John Harbaugh actually doesn't fix the issues the Giants had this season, which are blowing 30-point leads versus the Broncos and just losing games they should win, which
Baltimore's never done that. Never blown leads in Baltimore.
Exactly. The Ravens. So I start by giving you an olive branch and acknowledging, yes, there are questions. It is not a perfect candidate, and he's not a total bulletproof thing. What I will come back to and rain fire and brimstone upon you is the Giants are absolutely beggars. I understand that as a job opening, it's probably the best one on the market. I'm talking about there is a desperation amidst the fan base. This is unquestionably the worst period of Giants football in the 103-year history of the team. It's not even close. It has been rock bottom for 7 years. To the point that I was mad when the Giants were terrible in 2017. I was depressed when the Giants were bad in 2021. I have borderline stopped caring that they are bad now in 2025. And the difference between you becoming the Browns or not is just time. And that is the problem. And so to your point, I think your worldview, while I get it, and I know Sal's just like, oh God, they let the top off. But here's the thing. Your worldview is it is so easy to look at other teams for a week and be like, what? You guys aren't even trying to win a Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. But for the people who have to live with this the other 51 weeks a year, it's nice to have a floor. It is nice to not be eliminated. Again, I go home to see my family Thanksgiving, 10 years. 9 of the last 10 years, the Giants have already been eliminated from the playoffs. Just being competitive and then in the mix is in and of itself good enough for me.
The irony of you saying this to me, though, look, the Colts are my team, brother. We are the definition of just good enough to be competitive and respectable every year, but never good enough to challenge for everything. I mean, the Colts have won either 8 or 9 games in 6 of the last 7 years. So I'm just sitting here like, when the Giants go 8-9 next year, you will be happy about that. But in 3 years, when John Harbaugh is still going 9-8 at best, I think that people are going to be like, well, we probably should have taken a bigger swing, take a chance.
Yeah, that's called an improvement. And to my point, I think you were in the same position that Sal is with the Cowboys. The Cowboys get made fun of, but quietly, the Cowboys are never bad. The Cowboys have had basically one terrible season in the last 25 years. Your disappointments are in the playoffs or narrowly missing the playoffs, kind of like the Steelers, but glitz instead of grit for Pittsburgh. But it's the same thing with Craig and the Steelers. The difference is you guys are all in football purgatory. And when you're like, you want to get out of purgatory, you think about heaven. You don't think about going to football hell like the Giants have gone to hell. And I'm like, I would love to go to purgatory. It's significantly better than hell, and I'm in hell right now.
Let's bottom line this, Dabbundo.
I want to preface this by saying that I did a podcast with Austin Gale last year, the week that Pete Carroll signed with the Raiders.
Wow, name dropper. Go
I
ahead.
know, crazy. Austin Gale. And Austin made the same case that you were making. Pete Carroll is going to bring the adult in the room. He's going to elevate the floor of this team. He is going to get this franchise to be respectable and competitive again. And to be honest, I kind of bought it. I was like, yeah, they might win 8 or 9 games for a couple of years because Pete Carroll is a good coach who has a good track record. But you're buying the past. You're not buying the future when you make an investment like this. So
he got them the number 1 pick, Carroll. I wouldn't.
That's true. He might have actually
let's do this.
A Trojan horse.
Harbaugh has got fired for winning 8 games. The Giants have won 8 games once in 11 years.
Right. That's true. All right, Heifetz. Let's do this. Over under. 5-year deal. Over under. A half a division title with Harbaugh.
Over 1. I mean, Dabbundo's probably right. I'm really angry about it, but Dabbundo's probably right. No, I think the Giants, they win next year. I'm telling you, they're going to win 11 games next year. They win a division title. It'll be like Dable all over again.
Do you go over or under a half? Because a division title would be a pretty nice little feather in the cap.
Under.
0 for 5, huh?
He's got to do it now. He's too dug in.
He's dug in.
Under.
I get
it.
I get it. All right.
Committed.
I'm somewhere.
The chips have been pushed into the middle.
I think you could have had the best guy. Also, I don't think it's nice to exhale, like I said, but also I don't think you're beggars here. I think like you're sitting in a $500,000 house, but you haven't mowed the lawn in 4 years. It's like, oh, this house, we can't. Well, we'll get anyone to buy it. Like, no, just cut the lawn. You'll be fine. So that's it. All right. Now
not the Browns, not the Titans, not the Raiders. The Giants are not even close to that.
Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker. Another headline. 4 years, $240 million. I try to look through a gambling lens for this. My blood boiling temperature when I heard the news, Dabbundo, over under 209.5 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'll go over solely because the Mets and Steve Cohen was cryptically tweeting all night as if they were about to announce that there was a new pope and sign Kyle Tucker, only to get rugged at the last minute by the Dodgers again after there was talk that the Dodgers weren't going to go all in on Tucker. I think the question we have to ask, is baseball dead again? I mean, baseball was dead, and then it was saved because the World Series was so good. Is it dead again?
Well, it can't be dead because the Dodgers spent more money than Toronto, and that was a great series. And now here they are spending even more money. So it doesn't, I wouldn't say it's dead. It's going to be dead December when they go on strike. That's when it'll be dead. But, I mean, as a Met fan, we offered him 50. He said, why would I do that? The Dodgers are offering me 60, sunshine and sushi. Now, Heifetz, 8 Dodger players have $100 million contracts. Good, like they're $2 billion. It's something crazy. They're $2 billion in payroll over the course, and Edwin Diaz and this, it's disgusting, right? Should I be disgusted?
You should be disgusted when I go sign with the Dodgers and I'm going to go play DH for them or something. No,
Danny Heifetz,
they have 3 DHs right now. Yeah.
I don't think baseball's dead because we're talking about during the playoffs. I think sometimes villains save baseball. To your point though, Sal, about a gambling thing, I'll ask you a question. I have the lineups if you want. What do you think the line would be in a 7-game, like a playoff series, if it was the NLCS was the Dodgers versus the NL All-Star team without the Dodgers? Because I have the lineups for you, and they're shockingly close.
Listen, when your 7th hitter is Teoscar Hernandez, is going to have like 29 home runs. They're plus 220 to 3-peat. So I would say I bet it is close. I bet the All-Stars minus 160.
I mean, if you just look at, in terms of a 7-game series, if your starting pitchers could be Yamamoto, Glasnow, Blake Snell, and Ohtani, that could be better than literally, like, if the rest of the NL combined, it's like Paul Skeens and Hunter Green and, like, Chris,
Zach Wheeler, Chris Sanchez.
Zach Wheeler's hurt. It's Logan Webb
Chris
and
Sale.
Freddie Peralta. Sale. It's like, it's kind of evenly matched. Their rotation's as good as the rest of the NL.
And you have the
Honestly,
best
so is
closer.
their infield.
Yeah, right. What do you think, Dabbundo? Like, if you're the Marlins owner in this, and Tucker's like, 1 year of Tucker's like 89% of the Marlins 2025 payroll, are you like, oh, is he embarrassed, or does he laugh and say, well, that was a waste of money? Like, what goes through these guys' heads, do you think?
The Marlins might be the most bleak situation in the league, just in terms of market share, ownership spending, future prospect talent. I mean, there are, the reality of the Major League Baseball market now is that there are 7 or 8 teams that kind of function like minor league markets and aren't really like quote unquote competing with the big boys in this league. The A's. You could throw Pittsburgh in there. You could throw Miami in there. They all fit that kind of thing. But I mean, I also think it's crazy. I pulled up the win totals. The Dodgers are at 103.5. Yeah. You want to guess the over/under of the second highest win total in MLB this year?
Wait, the A's don't have the lowest?
No, they do not. The A's are good, Heifetz.
99.5.
Nope, lower.
More?
Lower.
That's crazy. So it's, what is it?
91.5.
What? Get out of here.
Yeah. Who else would be higher?
Really?
There's not an obvious. The Phillies are at 90.5. The Yankees are 91.5.
Just for S's and giggles there. All right. Maybe it is bleak. Maybe baseball is dead. But anyway, that's that. Hey, listen, the Yankees, and this is not a knock on the Yankees, but the Yankees made $250 million last year. Like they grossed $250. The Dodgers grossed $201. And the Dodgers I'm jealous of how they spend and like their commitment to winning. Great job, Dodgers. What am I going to do? At least they can go to the Phillies.
That is fair. It's like they could just keep all the money. Like,
yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? Like they could just keep it.
Yeah, we would. Come on, listen to us. Speaking of doing unsavory things here, there's a basketball betting scandal. 26 sports gamblers / alleged fixers were charged. The conspiracy targeted mid-major Division I teams from 17 schools from last year and the year before. Oh, my goodness. Chinese basketball is involved. Here's what's crazy. There was a massive bet, $458,000 on a Towson NC-A&T game. The indictment alleges at least $424,000 was bet on Kent State in the first half, minus 8.5. They went on a 12-0 run to win the half to cover. I would like to bet on this scandal if you could. I'm going to say plus 140 that we're being lied to about most of these details. Heifetz, no one's allowing $250,000, $450,000 on a first half game. Come on, certainly not the big sports books. I know one was named, and it was a small one. They're just not taking that bet.
On the advice of my attorneys, I've been advised not to answer this question. But no, I actually had the same question reading it. I was going to ask you guys that. smart and capable enough to organize this, but not smart enough to realize that a $500,000 bet on random like fringe basketball games would get flagged. I don't like. Is anyone else doing that?
That's the whole thing too. Now it's so easy to get caught. Like these people think that they're running an Ocean's 11 level scheme, and it's like, well, no kidding, you got caught. Like you bet on the first pitch of the inning for $12,000. Like
right. You got to bet on other first pitches and lose some of those for it to work. Make sense. You have to have 400,000 on Alcorn State to win the half and hope that you go 3-1 or something. Nobody does this right, but I also don't think it's legit. I know the limits, and I don't care that the guy was Raheem will say he was a casino gambler. The guy, not Raheem himself, although I don't doubt that he's involved in this too. But and that he had higher limits as a result. No, they're not letting $450,000 go on the first half bet like that.
And Sal would know because, if you lose bets, they give you higher minimums. But, I feel like the whole reading the whole thing, I just was thinking about the line from Stringer in The Wire when he's like, are you taking notes on a criminal conspiracy?
Criminal effing conspiracy?
Right. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't know. I just want to gamble, and I want to talk about gambling and not have people think I'm a scumbag, and the same for my profession and you guys. I mean, Dabbundo's a scumbag, but not for his picks.
Yeah. Exactly. For various other reasons.
Without one of these. Can we just, another gambling scandal, mine and Dabbundo's Ringer 107 picks.
This is the bigger scandal. This is a much bigger scandal.
Can they be legit? 0-5?
Can we take a moment to go back 7 days? When you ruthlessly mocked me for us flipping our picks over, and you were like, how dare you just flip our pick? We just took our picks, and then we're like, we're taking the opposite. You mocked us, and if you had done that, you would have gone 5-0.
By the way, to me, that's a bigger scandal. You're a bigger scumbag than any of these guys for flipping your pick.
The intellectual dishonesty is
the
disheartening,
integrity of the gambling game was destroyed. But anyway, so was our card here, 0-5. And let's face it, Dabbundo, if they asked for an extra game, we would have gone 0-6. So good thing they didn't. Let's hit these 4. Today's Ringer.
Well, it was just a perfect storm of things.
Yes.
As soon as Green Bay blew the lead on Saturday night, I said this is going to be a long weekend for us. I had a really bad feeling.
I was disappointed in you, Sal, and I was disappointed in Bill because Bill has in his gambling manifesto, like, a rule about God and puppies, and it's like the second rule, and the Pope is from Chicago, and you guys bet against the Pope.
We didn't lose that game. We won that game. That's ridiculous.
McManus has brought shame to the Philadelphia area in many ways.
Sorry, the manifesto didn't fix this nonsense where they
That's why
Matt
LaFleur's contract extension is taking so long because he's just in the negotiations. He's like, he won that game.
All right.
I mean, if you count the expected points, they actually had more than Chicago. So
we have to make picks this week. Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. Dabbundo and I were 0-5. We're 43-52. Heifetz, you guys were 3-2. You're 47-48. Great job by you. 1 game behind Shield. I think there has to be a punishment for futility, but whatever. If no one wants to figure it out. It looks like Simmons and
still have the McAfee jersey.
I got it. We should do the fantasy football punishment should apply. So you guys would have to get a piercing. Bill should have to wear a jersey. Like whatever you picked in the.
Yeah, it's the same players involved here. So yeah, we're 3 games ahead. I do feel like we could blow that Dabbundo. But you know what? I'm not. I make fun and everything. I'm like, yeah, come in. We'll come in last. Just fade us. No. I'm embarrassed by this. But anyway, let's bounce back, Dabbundo.
We just need to finish 12-0. We can still win.
The Bills are plus 1.5 at Denver now.
Sal's not even going to acknowledge it.
I can't. This tic-tac at 1.5, the Bills were favored. Now it's moved to Denver minus 1.5. It's one of those things where everyone I know is taking Buffalo, and the Sharps are supposedly on Buffalo, and yet the line moved 3 points in Denver's favor. We got cute with Jacksonville last week. I feel like this is the same situation, Dabbundo, where we think the home team is better balanced, better defense, but we are going this week with the more established, more trustworthy quarterback. Is that it?
Heifetz, who are you guys on in this one?
We took Buffalo for the same reason. We're like, the Broncos are the better team. But it's funny, you have all this analysis, then the game begins, and you're like, wow, that team is Josh Allen. They're going to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, traditionally in the playoffs, that hasn't always been true. I mean, I guess he goes against Mahomes, he loses. But we took Buffalo. I went back and forth on this game more than any game this weekend. Ultimately landed on Buffalo, mostly because I picked Buffalo to make the Super Bowl, and I can't just pick against them every single week. And that was really like the starting point. Now, the finishing point of this is, can Buffalo run the ball on Denver? Denver has been an excellent run defense this year. Buffalo, one of the best run offenses in the league. If you look deeper at the numbers, though, Buffalo has had success running inside. Denver has struggled on inside runs. They're a very athletic defense. They cover the edges, the stretch runs really well. So can Buffalo just kind of pound them up the middle? I think yes. And that means they can keep this game on their terms, because if they get into a lot of 3rd and long and Denver's manning up with Moss and with Surtain against these bad receivers, like all of the Bills receivers are bottom of the barrel against man coverage, I think it could get really ugly for the Buffalo offense. So that is a little scary, but I'm going to trust their run game to get it done and trust them in the 4th quarter if it comes down to it against the Bo Nix, which maybe I shouldn't, because Bo Nix has been a dynamo in the 4th quarter this year.
All right, Heifetz, you agree, which I guess is good. I don't know. Or did you flip this pick and agree? I'm not sure how you guys operate anymore.
No, I agree. No, I think Dabbundo put it perfectly. It just, Bills pound the Broncos up the middle. I think that's a really good way to put it. Sal, do you think the Bills can pound the Broncos up the middle?
What is that? We're getting dirty here? I don't know.
I don't know. I think Dabbundo made a great point. But I agree
Well,
with
it didn't matter. James Cook it wasn't lights out last week, and they won, and they scored the 2 big drives in the 4th quarter. So I don't know. I don't even know what matters anymore. Even the wide receiver thing doesn't really matter. They're a double-digit win team, and he has like 16 or 18 touchdowns to running backs and tight ends. So does that matter?
It's worth noting last year. So they played in the playoffs last year in the wild card round, and the Bills ran for 44 times for 210 yards on the Broncos. They had the most rushing yards in their first 2 drives that any playoff team has had in like a decade, and that was the game where the Bills really came out with the 6 offensive lineman thing, like for real.
Yep.
And they started dominating. So, you would think the Broncos will be prepared for that. They had a year. And I think that the Broncos, if anything, might dominate the rushing in this game, just because I think that the Bills' running defense is so bad. I think the Broncos have tried to build their team to be able to run on Buffalo in these playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But overall, it's like Bo Nix is going to have to hit these deep chances. And the Broncos are going to be able to run enough to force the Bills to bring a safety down. And they're going to have Bo Nix hit these deep shots. And the reason I really think that the whole game is probably going to come down is whether Bo Nix is able to have the erratic deep shots and the accuracy, or if he hits the deep shots, that's how the Broncos are going to be able to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo will take away the big plays. They'll do everything to prevent that. So that'll make Denver be slow, methodical. Every game Denver's played against a good team this year, except the Green Bay one, which kind of got crazy late, has been low scoring. You look at the Chiefs games, low scoring. Houston, when they played them, low scoring. Like a lot of their their biggest games have come down to 43, 44 points. The Chargers, the first meeting, all those games. So
Knicks 1-8 versus winning teams that score more than 17 points. The Bills scored 17 plus in 14 of 17 games. So after a while, you just seek out trends that fit your narrative. But that's a good one. And here's an interesting one: the Broncos penalty yards, number 1 in the league, or 32, depending on how you look at it, 1,149, and a third of those are due to defensive pass interference calls. So when you say who's the receiver, who's going to, they don't really have to get open and catch the ball, a lot of these Broncos opponents. So that could be big. And let's face it, the league is maybe going to push Buffalo ahead if things are close down the stretch. So, all right, so we agree on that one. Niners +7 is our second pick, Dabbundo. So much for the bye week, huh? The Sam Darnold oblique situation has made this pretty interesting. And the left tackle has a knee injury. They had 13 days off. What happened? Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak says Drew Lock took a fair amount of snaps this week in practice. Darnold says he's going to play, but it's interesting. And this all of a sudden has now become the most bet side of the 8 teams. Not usually a great sign. Certainly wasn't last week. But we're going to go with the Niners here. Since 2022, 7-2 straight up, 6-3 against the spread versus Seattle. Shanahan, despite the Week 18 loss, seems to win this game when it counts. And they have the best player on the team. That's all I'm going to say on the field. CMC scored in 8 straight playoff games and really seems unguardable as a pass catcher. And Purdy's the more experienced big game quarterback in better shape than Darnold. So 4-0 in Lumen Field. This, I think, has last team with the ball written all over it. I'm going 23-19 and grabbing the points, Dabbundo.
23-19 for the second straight week, Sal.
I did? I said that? Oh, that's
no,
what it
last
was.
week, the Niners won 23-19.
Okay, yeah, that's it. They're locked in.
I don't know how. The scary thing is I don't like this matchup for their offense at all. Seattle's run defense isn't just the best run defense this year, but it's the best run defense of the last 5 years of football. And so if your whole offense is, okay, we're going to have to throw because we're not able to run, then you lose George Kittle, and Pearsall's not healthy, and you start to look around, you're like, who's left? Jake Tonjes is going to be the guy to carry them. Is that the plan? Is it going to be a heavy dose of Demarcus Robinson again after last week? I don't trust this team to score, but I also don't trust Seattle offensively. If they get a lead, I think they're going to just get super passive and super cautious. They have every incentive to not try to run up scores. They're just going to say the only way we can lose this game is if Sam Darnold throws it to the other team. So let's prioritize running the ball. I think they can run it a little bit on San Francisco. I like the under 2 as well. I bet under 44.5, 45.5. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game again between these two teams.
All right, Heifetz, tell us why we got this wrong. You're going Seattle.
Yeah, we're sticking with Seattle. Solidarity with Danny Kelly. We're not messing with a rooting interest in this game. I mean, to the point about the offense, I mean, Kyle Shanahan's team with the Niners has scored 3 points in the game twice. His first game ever as the Niners coach in 2017, and then Week 18 versus Seattle when the 1 seed was on the line. They scored 3 points in that game. I understand Trent Williams is back, but the Seattle defense is elite. But I think the flip side of this game is simple for me. It's easy to say, well, Darnold could Darnold, and maybe Darnold's, and maybe the oblique injury. But to tell you the truth, I think what's going to happen in this game is that the Niners linebackers are going to get exposed. Eric Kendricks was washed on the Cowboys like a year or two ago, and that Eric Kendricks was actually washed on the Vikings like 4 or 5 years ago. He's starting. They got Garrett Wallow at linebacker, who sounds like a bird. Like the Niners' top 3 linebackers are out in this game. Who's actually going to get exposed in this game is the Eagles, because the Eagles can't throw over the middle of the field, and so they could not take advantage of the 4th, 5th, and 6th string linebackers on the 49ers. That's all the Seahawks are going to do in this game is attack them. And so while it's easy to envision going forward seeing Darnold suck, because we've seen that before in 2025 last season and then obviously versus the Rams this year, in reality, I think that the Seahawks offense is kind of going to move the ball through the Niners defense, knife through butter, because they have nowhere to hide their linebackers in this game.
And to add on to that point, I mean, this was the thing in Week 18. At some point, Purdy and Darnold are pretty comparable quarterbacks, I think. But when one guy is constantly under duress and pressured on over half his dropbacks, Purdy, and Darnold's just standing there having a field day, making a sandwich in the pocket, realizing, oh, they can't get near me. Like Jalen Hurts last week was barely pressured. They had one of the lowest pressure rates in the league. So that is the case to say, hey, like the Seahawks should be able to score in this game.
We're taking the Niners, though. The Bundle.
Yeah.
This is not,
I was going to say,
I'm kind of agreeing. I'm agreeing with Heifetz while also saying I think it's just a little bit too many points.
Sal, you have to admit, if the Niners win this game, you're going to have to admit that Shanahan's a good coach. I don't know what your holdout is on this.
I know. I think I'm going to. No, it's funny. With Shanahan and Purdy, I've kind of been like, you know what? I was wrong about both. We flip-flopped 15 times. Simmons, we can't keep doing this. And, like, we just have to stay away from these guys and let them finish out their careers. We'll go after others. My biggest thing here is I think the rust is going to show on Seattle. I think the 13, 14 days off will show for at least a quarter offensively. And if that's the case, you're getting 7. That might as well be 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5 right in there if they have 3 quarters of play to cover 7. Anyway, I don't know. 23-19 is the final. All right, Dabbundo, the Texans.
Is Bo Bichette actually a Met?
Is that what they're saying? They had to do something.
Bo Bichette signs with the Mets. Does that make you happy, Sal?
Wow. They cut my lawn. That's what they did in the previous example. The lawn is cut.
Is Bo Bichette good at baseball?
I'm kind of dubious on the whole thing.
I guarantee they way overpaid him according to his WAR and his comparative WAR to Tucker and everybody else. But what does it say? Does it say numbers?
As a Phillies fan who likes the player that Bo Bichette is, part of me was saying, oh, I hope they sign him. But as a baseball nerd who was like, oh, he's a declining shortstop who can't play the position, who's lost sprint speed, who doesn't have a lot of bat speed, who's probably not going to age well. I was like, oh, I was really not looking forward to being that guy when the Phillies did sign him that said, hey, maybe Bichette isn't a great long-term.
I mean, there was going to be a mutiny if they didn't sign.
They had to sign somebody, right?
4
Steve
years.
Cohen.
Wow, $609 million 4 years. So that's a little high. That's a little high. No, I don't know. I haven't.
Do we know the contract?
I haven't seen it yet.
3 for 1. They said 3 for 120.
3 for 120. All right, so
$42 million a year for Bo Bichette.
All right, but Tucker.
Come on, that's ridiculous. It's only 3 years though, so you're buying.
If you had Tucker for that, you'd be happy, right? I don't know what the age difference.
Tucker's
is,
better than Bichette though.
Right.
So Bichette will play second base.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. No, we have football to concentrate on now. Texans +3 Dabbundo. I like this a lot. I'm not afraid to say it out loud. House is going against the grain, taking Texas 2. I'm glad the hype man and his cronies are taking New England. I don't want everyone to be on our side. And I don't even care that in the divisional round of the playoffs, the Texans are 0-6 franchise history, including 0-2 with Stroud. I kind of care at Dabbundo, but tell everyone why we're going Houston, and then Heifetz will explain to us why we're going to lose.
Yeah, we're going with Houston because we don't think that the Patriots will be able to hold up in pass protection long enough in this game to allow Drake May to consistently throw down the field. And I think that's really been the story of the Patriots season. When they've played these, weaker defenses, they've been able to have time in the pocket. Drake May has done a great job of eluding in the pocket and getting the ball downfield. He holds the ball a long time. He takes sacks, but he's able to get the ball down the field. Against this coverage unit, against this secondary, and against that pass rush, I don't know if that trade-off works. I think there's going to be a lot of sacks. And May's had a sack problem all year. He's bottom 5 in the league, pressure to sack rate. There's a real risk that, hey, they're not able to consistently, protect him. The O-line looked pretty bad last week, I thought, in that game. Then all of a sudden, Houston wins with their defense. This is an ugly game, like a 16-14 or a 17, to 20 type game. And at that point, you're going to take the 3 points with Houston. So I don't love the Houston offense, especially without Nico Collins. Their offense without him is a little dubious, and their run game doesn't look great in this matchup either. So maybe we should just all bet the under and get rich like we do on every Houston game all year. But we're going to go Texans +3.
All right, Heifetz, aside from the typical ass kissing the Simmons and not wanting to risk your status with Netflix and everything else, why are you taking New England here?
Well, yeah, it's what you just said because they gave me three-year deal, $126 million
wow.
With the Boba deal. So that was kind of the
dog
problem there.
crap war too, if you look at it. Yeah.
No, this is the game that we spent the most time on, and if I could flip, I would take the Texans just because the Texans defense
loves a flip.
I think this is the hardest one to pick because my head says the Texans. Everything in my head says Texans. With everything Dabbundo said, the defense is the best unit maybe left in the entire playoffs. The thing that I was also surprised the Patriots are favored, to be honest. But I think the thing I keep coming back to is Mike Vrabel versus C.J. Stroud. And I think Stroud is quietly the Sam Darnold of the AFC in that he leads a elite defense. And that we have this word game manager for a quarterback that won't win you the game if you need him to, but probably won't lose you the game you need him to. And you attach that to a bad defense. An elite defense. We don't really have a word for a Darnold or a Stroud where they could win you the game if you were losing, but they also might lose you the game if you were winning. And Sam Darnold leads the league in turnovers. C.J. Stroud has been erratic, I think, the last 6 weeks or so.
Week, for sure.
And that's really what I think I can articulate is I have seen something with the Texans the last few weeks that I think Mike Vrabel is going to be able to expose. But I also will feel dumb if the Texans win 30-7 again.
Yeah, maybe this is just like a turnover fest here with everybody with strip sacks and Stroud doing his thing. He put the ball on the turf so many times last week, 5. All right, let's get to
C.J.
our fourth
Stroud,
game.
third most turnover-worthy plays in the NFL this year, behind only Geno Smith, Ruiz's guy, and Baker Mayfield, Sal's guy.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Darnold is 9th.
Oh, all right.
Cam Ward, Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Flacco, Sam Darnold.
Yeah. All right. We're sticking with our pick. Texans +3. The last one, Rams -3.5 over the Bears. This is how I looked at it, Dabbundo. I think 3 playoff teams were kind of doing it with smoke and mirrors. I'm not including the Panthers, who played tough, but I didn't even think they belonged ultimately in the postseason field. The 3, though, were the Steelers. They're done. The 49ers, who we think have another week of tough 60 minutes. And this Bears team that I think bows out this week. And I heard it all loud and clear. Stafford 1-9. 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, last 10 outdoor games in the rain or snow. Temperatures could feel like 11 below. It could also feel like 20 degrees, which is what the actual temperature is supposed to be. But this is not Tua in the cold. Stafford's a proven winner. He played well at the Eagles in this round last year. Bears secondary is soft. Was extremely soft in the first half. Last week, Jordan Love should have put up 31 at the half, and, you wouldn't have had to worry about a Bears comeback. They're going to score their points, too, because the Rams defense and worse off the special teams haven't been stellar. But I have this in the 30-23 range. Rams win and cover and maybe have a home game next week. Hype man, we got this one wrong too?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I guess how much do the Rams need to be leading by that you're like, all right, Sal, this is a W. We won this one. It's
51.
Over.
28.5.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's scary.
Serious question. Do you guys ever think about how you'll feel rooting for your bet like in the final few minutes of the game, because like what came down to me is I understand the Rams are the better team. I don't like the kicking situation, the punting situation.
Wait a second, but you guys have been betting favorites all year long.
Yeah, right.
And now you're saying you're not going to feel good.
Yeah, do we feel?
No,
that's my biggest argument with Dabbundo. I'm like, Dabbundo, do we want Geno Smith down 10, needing a touchdown in the fourth quarter to cover? Like, of course, that's it. Yeah.
And this one, when I look at this game, if the Bears win the game, I think the Bears are unquestionably the coolest story of the NFL season, because I feel like football has been revived in Chicago, and it's cool to see Chicago have the Bears back. And the idea that the Bears could be driving to win the game or something and take a 4-point lead, and I'd be rooting against them, was honestly too much for me. It was close enough where I'm like, I'd rather be rooting for the Bears to go to the NFC Championship game. I think it's such a cooler story, and that honestly flipped me.
All right.
You know,
Dabbundo,
I think one of the worst.
This guy.
No, one of the worst things about what we do, Sal, is that like, as people who try to be nerds or who try to like, you know, look at the analysis and say like they can't keep getting away with it, you end up being against all the fairy tales every year.
Oh yeah,
you know,
kidding.
it's like
yeah.
Like last year, the Commanders, they can't keep doing this. You know, the
it's the
Bears,
worst.
and you're just like, man.
Oh, when the Washington
and the
Generals
problem is
beat
you
the
don't remember the
Globetrotters,
stories of the fairy tales.
Demoralizing. Yeah, I know. I get it.
Who fizzle out, right? Like if the team starts 6-0, but then they lose, you know, like the
Yeah.
Colts, you don't remember those stories as well because they don't get talked about years later. But it's so hard because I actually want to like this Bears team, but their defense won't let me do it. I just can't. I can't do it. Their defense is so bad.
It's a little fixed too. They could have made this Saturday. Both teams said would have had a week rest, but no. Not only did they make it Sunday, they put it in the night window, and much colder for Stafford. I feel like I know what the league wants here, but they're not going to get it, or we're not going to get it. I don't know, Dabbundo. Hey, this is what we are going to get. I do want to tell you, today's Ringer 107 was brought to you by FanDuel. We are going to take a break. When we get back, we have NFL player props, and we have the college football championship picks. We're going to do all that. Dabbundo, Heifetz, Sal, when we return after the break. Welcome back, Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz. We went through all 4 games. We told you every trend, every side. I mean, I don't know if a trend comes in, Heifetz, to just interrupt anything and throw it in there because we need trends. But right now, we're going to do player props. You can see a lot of these. We're going to be doing these on the Ringer pregame show Saturday and Sunday. Let's give you a little taste right now. Dabbundo, oh my God, you're going with a player prop and an under. Who would have thought? I mean,
against all odds.
What is going on here? Yes,
would you prefer me to switch up? Should I just give an over instead?
No. Well, let's make a case. I mean, this is not bode well for our pick necessarily, as I think the Texans are going to have to run the ball a little bit for us to be in the game against New England. But go ahead. Give us your pick.
Yeah, I think Woody Marks will have success in the receiving and the passing game. I think they'll be able to find him in space a couple times for some big plays. But I don't like the matchup for their run offense here on the road in New England. New England's run defense with Milton Williams back considerably better last week, considerably better in general than it was the back half of the season where it did start to slip. I think we saw improved performances from them. And I think that makes it tough for Houston to try to run the ball here. So under 55.5 rush yards, Woody Marks. And then, yes, if you want an over, fine. I'll give an over. Jake Tonjes, over 35.5. Talked about it on Wednesday. I just think that the market's way low on him. He's been pretty close to Kittle level when he's been replacing Kittle this season.
Yeah, I mean, someone's going to have to – we're going to have to get our offense somewhere other than CMC for the Niners. All right, so Woody Marks under 55.5. What is it? Was everything 55.5, Heifetz? Because you have R.J. Harvey in the Broncos-Bills game to record over 55.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, no, I just kind of resolved to kind of just show Dabbundo that overs can happen. No, it's really simple. I mean, the Bills have like the worst run defense in the NFL, basically, or at least certainly the worst run defense of the playoff teams remaining. And the Broncos, look, sometimes football's not complicated. The Bills ran for 210 yards on the Broncos, and the Broncos are going to want to run on the Bills, so they're going to run for more than 56 yards with R.J. Harvey.
Is that how it works? Really?
Yes.
You just have to want it.
You have to declare it. I declare it before the game, and it just occurs.
You'll see. It's Sean Payton. If you think Sean Payton's not that burned in his memory how much the Bills ran on him last year, and he's not trying to return the favor, I'm telling you.
Well, if he puts together a game plan and sticks to it, then this is a nice bet, I think. I feel like Etienne would have gotten over. I don't know if he did, but Jacksonville running it, they had like 8 yards per carry at some point before.
They had 9 yards per carry on the game, and that was came down.
Yeah. But like Lawrence was responsible for about 6 or 7 yards of carry. No, I get it, but yeah, why did they run away from that is the question. All right, back to that Texans Patriots game. Will Anderson Jr. Be careful. Make sure you check Jr. and Danielle Hunter to combine for over 1.75 sacks at plus 125. They had 4 against the Steelers. Sheldon Rankins had 1.5 of those, including the big one. Will Anderson had a half a sack. He and Danielle Hunter had 29 sacks. So, Danielle Hunter had 0.29 sacks. I read it wrong. But anyway, Anderson and Hunter over 175. They combined for 27 this season. The Pats allowed 2.9 per game. That's 25th. So I think maybe gets dumped like 5 times, just like he did last week against the Chargers. I like this, Dabbundo. Anderson Hunter, over 1.75 sacks. What do you think?
Yeah, Ruiz actually commented on this earlier this year. Drake May loves taking like 1 or 2 yard sacks, and they're not like killing the team.
Right.
He does try to scramble out, but at the end of the day, a 1 yard sack, 2 yard sack, it's kind of an incompletion. And for your bet, also counts.
He kind of said that in a press conference, which was what I thought it was weird. He's like, I love taking 1 or 2 yard sacks, and they were like, oh yeah, everybody was all over him for that. No, he didn't say that. Heifetz, you don't like this pick?
I like that his props are just backing up your picks, and Dabbundo's props are just fading your
completely against it. Yep.
Threading the needle.
Threading the needle.
How do you do it? All right. Like I said, more of that on the Ringer pregame show. We have one Saturday before the Bills game against the Broncos, and then Sunday before this Patriots-Texans game. Tune in right here on this channel or on YouTube. You'll catch it all. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with the NCAA title pick. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show. We're done with the NFL picks. We're done with betting scandals and college basketball. We're going to hit college football right now. What a story. 2 great stories. Indiana, Miami. Kurt Cignetti saved Indiana football. Mario Cristobal saved the ACC by bringing his Hurricanes to the title game. I'm going to go with a teaser here. We should give a pick, guys. I'm going to go Indiana minus 2.5 and under 53.5. And if you can look at it this a couple of ways. IU thrashed just about everyone. 12 double-digit wins, including a 94-25 run here in the playoffs over Alabama and Oregon. Or this line is bloated. You could look at it that way. Miami's playing great defense. The common opponent was Ohio State. Both played close. They've only now allowed north of 17 points twice in the last 7 games. So I'm going to take from both. I'm going to make a teaser. Hoosiers in the under. I think both defenses play well for most of the game. Carson Beck is going to be largely ineffective. And then Hemby has a big run late, and Mendoza puts it away. I'm going to say 27-21 Hoosiers and the under on a teaser. Dabbundo, you're with me on the under part. Heifetz likes the Indiana part. Let's go with you first, Dabbundo.
Yeah, I'm going to go under 47.5. I hate fun. I hate everything that is cool, and I hate points, and I hate life. But I do love the Indiana Hoosiers, man. What a team. And it's fun. We talked about this in the last segment, how, being the nerd, you kind of have to be against a lot of these like Cinderella-type stories. But what about when you have a Cinderella story who is completely metrically dominant, who is completely throttling everybody, and if their name were Ohio State or their name were Michigan, we'd be like, wow, like this is what was supposed to happen. But because it is little Indiana, and because the Hoosiers have turned around their program from a has-been, an afterthought, and also ran 2 years ago to the premier program maybe in college football in a 2-year stretch here. They've lost 2 games in 2 years. I don't think they're going to have any problems with Miami. However, Miami's D-line will give them enough trouble. This game is lower scoring. Not 27-21, Sal. 27-20.
Oh, is that right? Oh, 27-20.
Yeah, huge difference. It's 1 point, but huge difference.
I know. I was going right between the. Yes, it will be. Okay, so you
27 to 20.5. It'll be exactly 47.5 points.
Yeah. But that doesn't bring you a cover. That gets you under. Interesting. So you're taking under by 0.5 point, and you're getting right in there, Dabbundo. What about that, Heifetz? It's like I feel like I fall victim to that all the time. I'm never able to root for the Cinderella story. I'll have money on Indiana here, but what's your biggest example of that, Heifetz, where you're like, oh, I would have liked to have rooted for this team, but I have money. Like when I was 9, I bet on the Russians over US. I regret it for sure. But whatever. Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I bet on you guys to win the Ringer 107.
Oh, that's cool. The joke is I bet on you guys.
Well, there you go. See, there you go.
Come
So
on.
you like money. There you go. And
Come on,
Cinderella
guys.
stories. Sometimes you can be rich. No, I mean, I like Indiana in this game too. I took Indiana giving 8.5, but I mean, I actually kind of your bet. I like your bet too, Sal, because Indiana -2.5, under 53.5. I mean, it's easy to forget because Indiana scored like 1,000 points in the last few games. That Indiana beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship 13-10. So I like the 2.5, 53.5 combo too. But it's funny. It's kind of like the Cinderella. If Cinderella then became the stepsisters, and she was like, you know what, you guys scrub the floor.
Interesting.
And I'm like, you guys have to clean everything. I'm going out.
Yeah,
my Hoosier buddies have been talking a lot of big game this year. It's been kind of weird.
Well, I mean, they deserve it. My God, if you look at this rundown of how they just crushed people. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I've been trying to get them all week. I don't, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. In August, Michael Irvin came on the show. Big Miami guy. I don't know if you know, he went to the U.
Did he?
I think I saw that on a field recently, right?
They talk about like the 12th man. There's like, yeah, he's literally on the field. Like he's in the end zone, like celebrating with the team. He's the 12th man. But anyway, at the end of the interview, we talked a lot of Cowboys. The Cowboys doc had just come out. And then we talked a little bit of Miami. I was like, I'm going to give you a free bet, $100 on anything. And I figured he'd go Cowboys over 7.5 wins, whatever it was. But he went 25-1 odds on Miami. So I have to write him a $2,500 check, Heifetz, and I will do it, if Miami wins this game. Where do you think he's spending that money? You think he's like there's a Roth IRA in his future or something? Like, what does he do with the money?
Man,
what's it look like?
It's so hard to think about what Michael Irvin might spend money on after Miami wins the game.
After they win the game in Miami.
Yeah, it could be anything. I can't even. Think about
you can't even imagine what you would. No. You can't even spend $2,500 in Miami. There's nothing to do.
They showed him in the airport. His luggage is looking a little run down. Maybe he gets a new piece. Like
you should get him a new belt
or something. A new belt. Yeah.
I think the old one's pretty worn in by now.
Yeah, or just like 150 belts, and then he just it's nice. Like it's like Johnny Carson's ties. He could just go through them. Why not?
The best bet I ever had was actually betting on Tony Romo's tie in the Super Bowl. That's actually probably the most money.
Did you really? What was it? What?
I don't know. He wore some tie to the Super Bowl the first time he announced it, and for some reason I won an outrageous.
For some reason, a.k.a. Danny Heifetz was the original insider trader.
That you really were.
Who did you know, Heifetz? Who did you know?
I just kind of knew his color palette. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was working at Fox,
you raided his closet.
We did a bit with Joe Buck like 4 days before the Super Bowl, and of course that was a prop. What color tie? So I'm like, Joe, what's it gonna be? Tell me. Let's make some money here. Freaking wouldn't tell me. He would not tell me, and that's why I'm diving for scraps over here. I got nothing because Joe Buck, all he had to do was tell me what kind of tie he was wearing. Disgusting. All right, so we all like Indiana, either to cover or to cover on a tease. And Dabbundo and I like the under. I like the under. I'm not as brave. I'm doing it on a teaser as well. When we return, our Friday best bets, and boy, they've been good. Ringer Gambling Show, Anthony Dabbundo, Danny Heifetz, and Cousin Sal when we return. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show, Cousin Sal, Anthony Dabbundo, Danny the Hype Man Heifetz. One thing left to do in this divisional round week show, that's to give our best bets that have nothing to do with the divisional round of the NFL. It's Friday night, best bets. Well, it's not even Friday night, Heifetz. I don't know what you did here. You're going to give a golf pick for a tournament that started yesterday at 6 a.m.?
The Corn Ferry?
Yeah.
Well,
what are you doing?
Because here's the thing. You could do what Dabbundo does and try to give people college basketball to watch, or just, go to the Sony Open. Watch the nice dulcet views in January. You're probably in a cold place. Just watch some nice weather golf, man.
Okay. So what are you going to do? You going to say a name or no?
Oh, well, I mean, you didn't even like the pick. I don't have to. No, I like Nick Taylor to win the tournament. I wish maybe it's a little late, but, I liked him before. I wish I had been louder about it. But, yeah, Nick Taylor, I had him at 8-1. Sal says I have to go with the current line. But, yeah, that's like 6-1.
No,
he's going to win the tournament. He won it last year.
Try to negotiate with FanDuel. Say, hey, Heifetz gave it out at 8-1. I know he's plus 650. He hasn't teed off yet, so I jump on him now. It's good. And he's at the top, right? He's winning, isn't he?
He's winning, and he won last year, and he's going to win again.
Okay. All right. There you go. So there's Heifetz pick. Golf, and he's going to update on us in the next few minutes if anything changes. Dabbundo, Boise State, you won with Colorado State minus 6.5 over UNLV.
Sweaty. I don't know if you saw the end of that game.
Basketball games. Yeah.
Yeah, last week UNLV fouled down 6 with about 3 seconds left. God bless them. Let me tell you, love that team. We're going against Colorado State. When you're at the bar tonight with your friends, or maybe it's a Friday night and you're out and you're thinking to yourself, man, what am I going to do on my Friday night? I could do anything. The world is my oyster. don't enjoy the world. Turn on Fox Sports 1 and watch Colorado State against Boise State in the Mountain West.
I love that Dabbundo woke up this morning and was like, you know what? What a great day to bet on college basketball.
Yeah, he's got to do it.
Yeah, it's a sign of immaturity and deep.
At least the game hasn't started yet, Heifetz.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought about talking. Yeah. I thought about talking about like, a tennis match that already happened or something. I hope nobody noticed. Adelaide, French Open, Aussie Open starts Monday. We're getting excited. Yannick Sinner's going to win, newsflash. But I like Boise State minus 5.5. Really, this comes down to Boise State takes away the 3 at an elite rate. And I'm not sure that Colorado State's offense is very good otherwise. Don't love the matchup with them going on the road. It's one of the few leagues I still watch all the time. And I love the Mountain West. And this is the last year we get to enjoy it.
I genuinely thought you were going to say you were going to bet on the teams whose players that were tanking for money were just taken off, and now those teams are undervalued.
Well, do you remember Ali Faroukman as Heifetz?
Oh, of course.
He is now the head coach. You want to feel old? He is now the head coach of Colorado State basketball.
Yeah,
wow. All right, let me get my pick in. There's no tanking in the NBA. Raptors plus 2 over Clippers.
None of that.
Kawhi coming home again. He's going to cry. Actually, he might not even play. He's questionable. Raps are tough. Won 5 of the last 7, 7 of the last 10. They've covered 7 of the last 10. Brandon Ingram coming off a 30-point game. Simmons lambasted us for not betting the Clippers to win the division, so I know they're going to start to swoon here. They're 6-14 in their last 20 home games. Toronto takes it 112-104. OJ Car Chase, current athlete. Who you taking? Simmons made, well, not current, but he said Manning. I'm going to say Ohtani is the big ticket item. Real quick, what do you guys say?
You're saying if an athlete was in a car chase, and who would be the biggest deal? I mean, the answer is obviously Tom Brady or Travis Kelce. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Dabbundo, real quick. Got 5 seconds.
I think it has to be Tom Brady or Travis Kelce. I'm going to agree with Heifetz.
Really?
Manning if it was 10 years ago, but not anymore.
No kidding. Not Ohtani.
LeBron James?
You would have to think it was more another gambling scandal and all that. That would be great. LeBron.
Shane Hennon?
Nice.
Not an athlete, but could be up there.
Yeah. Rich Paul, does that count? I don't know. I don't even know what we're doing. All right. Listen, that does it for another episode of the Ringer Gambling Show. For Anthony Dabbundo, what are the names? Danny Heifetz and Cousin Sal here. I'm saying so long. May your parlays be prosperous. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York.